What is up, guys? Welcome back. The Dream has officially begun sailing with passengers, paying passengers, and with kind of all the information coming out of the test sailings and what we're hearing on this sailing, we wanted to talk about some of those changes because we are going to be on the ship in just 2 days.
Yay!
So we'll be on the Disney Dream on the August 13th sailing. This is a 3-night weekend sailing. So we're going to talk about some of our plans, some of the pre-trip stuff that we had to do, and kind of go through some of the changes that you might expect if you are also sailing on this or another one of these future Dream sailings.
So we'll touch briefly on some of the things that we have to do before our cruise actually starts. One of the things you have to do is do your check-in specifically with Disney. Similar process to how it was in the past. They have a new look to their platform, and you do have to do a few extra things. Uploading your picture of your passport, uploading the picture of your face that they use to check when you get on the ship. That's all new. There is a longer review process that your check-in is pending. We got our clear to sail. They approved our pictures, approved our passports this past Monday. So about 4 to 5 days before the ship is sailing. A lot of people in our Facebook group were freaking out about it a little bit, but so far I haven't seen anyone have a problem with it.
The second part of the online check-in process that is very, very important now is the new Safe Passage website. This is Disney's third-party website, kind of monitor either your COVID testing or your proof of vaccination. We both went with the proof of vaccination option, but if you did not, you have to upload your PCR test results to this. This includes all unvaccinated members of your family, including children under 12. Very important to make sure that this is done, it's the right test, and that it's done properly. If that happens, you should be able to upload it, and the Safe Passage website will update after being reviewed to clear to sail or clear to embark, something along the lines of that.
To me, it would probably feel a little nerve-wracking because you don't get that clear to sail until your test results are reviewed. Our vaccination was reviewed last week, so we got the clear to sail, we're good to go. One thing to note, Disney is not making exceptions. If you show up and you have not done the right test or you have not tested everyone in your party who needs it, they will not let you on the ship.
Luggage tags are still being mailed to you. We are hoping that ours are in our mailbox right now. We have seen in our Facebook group that most people have just started receiving them in the last day or two. So here's hoping.
Yes, and this is much closer to the sail date than luggage tags are usually sent out. I think just because they kind of announced sailing was coming back so recently. If you get to the port, you don't have luggage tags, the porters will help you label your bags with your room number, and they'll still be delivered to your room. So a lot of people who are on our sailing, kind of already came to Florida, they're not at home, their luggage tags are arriving. Don't stress about it. It's just kind of an exciting thing to receive.
So we'll kind of work into our personal plans now. So our port arrival time is 1:45. You should note that everything we've heard and from what they've posted, these arrival times are being strictly enforced to, I believe, no more than 10 minutes prior to that.
I've heard anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. It is basically you got to get there right at that time.
So make sure you plan accordingly, especially if you are doing some sort of shuttle service or transfer service or private car.
So the earliest port arrival time that was available is 1 o'clock. So we're only about 45 minutes after the first people who will be boarding. And since we are using the vaccination option instead of the testing option, we should be able to bypass a lot of people who have to go through and wait for testing results. So we were thinking we're probably going to be some of the first few people on the ship, which is really exciting.
Yes, just be prepared to wait at the port if you do have to do the testing option. They are saying this will be probably 45 minutes to an hour wait.
But from everything it looks like, they have a very smooth, clear process set up. Lots of signs, lots of people to help you figure out what you're supposed to do. I think they understand that this is very different than anything that Disney cruisers have experienced before.
A couple things to note. Most of your check-in is now done on the app. It does not look like you're going to be going up to a desk or anything. You are pretty much going to be shuttled very quickly through the terminal once you arrive, which should be very nice. There won't be a lot of lingering around or crowding in that terminal area. Something else that is new but not surprising is there is going to be a health questionnaire or health screening. This is actually going to be done on the app. You will find it on the day of embarkation, so do not go ahead and look for it days ahead. It's not going to be there. Make sure your app is updated, because on your day of embarkation, you're going to need to make sure that that is filled out properly to be able to embark on the ship. Another change is it looks like key cards are actually going to be at your stateroom now instead of receiving them before you board the ship. So do not panic if you are getting on the ship without your key card.
I'm very curious to see how this will work, particularly because in the past, when your rooms aren't ready, they rope off the hallways. You can't even get close to your room, but you can use your key card to get like drinks and stuff before your rooms are ready. So I am very curious to see if we'll be able to walk up to our door and get our key card so we can get a mimosa or something.
Backtracking just a bit to actually embarking on the ship. So they are embarking small groups of, I believe, approximately 5 groups at a time. They are still doing the whole grand announcement and welcoming you on board. However, those couple groups are all held onto circles in the middle of the main atrium there, and they do a little welcome aboard show with Minnie and Mickey, which is something to definitely look forward to, something new, which will be exciting. And right after that, they are encouraging you to actually go to your muster station, where you will scan a QR code and go through your muster process, which I've heard is very quick and very easy now.
So a little bit more about our personal plans for the cruise coming up. We are staying in a new stateroom category to us. We are staying in a category 8B stateroom, which is a deluxe family ocean view. We've never stayed in an ocean view. We've always either had a balcony or just an inside cabin. So this is very exciting. So this room is deck 9 forward. I don't know if we've ever stayed in a forward stateroom, but I'm very excited because it is like 2 floors below Cove Cafe, which is one of our favorite places on the cruise, so we should be able to get there nice and quickly.
Once we are back, we'll talk specifically about our room number, and we'll do a room tour and all of that fun things along with it. So after we get all of those main things out of the way, welcome aboard, muster station, we will probably be well and ready for lunch. I believe we are planning on actually hitting up Cabanas and kind of checking out some of the changes they made there. We do typically like to do the sit-down dining. I have not heard if that is being offered for lunch yet, but we are not going to plan on that currently. Our plan is to go ahead and head to Cabanas pretty much right away.
Yeah, so we'll be getting there kind of in a weird time, not quite lunch, but our dinner is going to be later than we usually eat dinner normally. We did the late seating, so I'm sure we'll be hungry.
We are doing trails and breakfast in the morning at Fort Wilderness on Walt Disney World property, so we'll just have to make sure to fill up real good for breakfast. After that, we don't really have a plan for the day. We can get in our staterooms at 4 o'clock. That could potentially be earlier or later, we'll see. And the Dream left for the August 9th cruise at about 7:30 p.m. That was a little bit later than their anticipated sail away time, so don't fret if you guys do not leave quite on time. And I've heard this is pretty common with most cruise lines that are doing their back to sailing right now.
Yes, I think the anticipated sail away time is 5:45, and I have no expectation that 5:45 will be our sail away time. That seems crazy early.
Something we're definitely looking forward to with our rotational dining is that they are not grouping parties together anymore. Typically, if we would go and do rotational dining on Disney, they would pair us with other groups, usually of similar age. Typically, it's always been like newlyweds with us or newly engaged, that sort of thing. Yep. But it's always been a blast. We have loved it, and we've loved all the people that we've gotten to meet and dine with. Many of them we still keep in touch with, so it's been awesome. However, they are not doing that now. It is going to be single party dining, so we're going to have kind of that private dining experience for our first 2 nights with our rotational dining, and we'll talk about that 3rd night in just a bit.
Yeah, so this will be interesting, a little different for us. We always really enjoy meeting new people, so yeah, it'll be something new to experience.
Now to get into the fun part, this was changed to a double dip, so we are getting 2 nights in Castaway. So first thing to note is they're doing virtual queues to get onto the island. Our first Castaway Day has an anticipated disembarkation at 9:30.
You are able to start signing up for your disembarkation time somewhere between 7 and 7:25 the morning of, where you get on a little early, you get your queue number, and then it tells you how many parties are ahead of you and your estimated disembarkation time.
We'll let you know how this goes. We do expect it to go pretty quickly. However, if you have any sort of port adventure tour booked, you will actually meet with your party and they will disembark you. You do not have to go through the virtual process, which leads us into our first plan of the day on Castaway. We are doing the kayak and walking tour, which we're very excited about. This is supposed to take you kind of on a kayaking trip around the island, talk about, I think, some of the history and some of the like little hidden areas of it. And this is just going to be a fun, like, unique, active thing to do on our first day.
Excited to do something a little active our first day, and I've heard really great things about this tour. You can kind of get to access areas of the island that you otherwise can't, which will be very cool to see, and you know, we'll break out our GoPro and get all those action shots.
Yes, we're very excited about it. That's probably our biggest plan for our first Castaway Day. The other thing we do have is the bike rentals, and something cool that they added to all these double dips is you can do 2-day rentals for a lot of the basic equipment, snorkeling, biking, tubes, all of that fun stuff. They have 2-day options, and it's also been reasonably affordable to just do the 2-day option over the 1-day option. I think the bike rental was $3 more opposed to doing it for 1 day.
So that first day we'll do our kayaking tour, and then I anticipate we'll grab some lunch. We'll probably do some bike riding around the island, and then we may get back on the ship.
A couple other things we're looking forward to. Obviously, lunch at either one of the Cookies or Serenity Bay. Typically for us, it is the Serenity Bay location. They tend to have a couple more options. I know last time we were there, they had steak as well as the normal cookies items.
Yeah, and that may change due to the current situation, but we'll see.
Something different that they are also doing on the island is they're doing kind of like character cavalcades, similar to what you may see at Magic Kingdom or some of the other parks right now.
What I saw was a short video of basically like a beach jeep, like the cars you see like drive across the beach, and Minnie Mouse was in her beach gear in the back, and she was like waving. She was like a lifeguard hanging on to the back of a little Jeep thing. It was really cute. And that's exactly what like I anticipated in my mind happening. So I'm excited to see all of the characters in this situation.
One thing that did happen on the August 9th sailing was Serenity Bay was closed the first day but open the second day. There was no like announcement about that. I'm not sure if was just a fluke or if that's something that may happen on other sailings, but we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Now, we're not sure which night we will be attending, but they are doing the new fireworks show, and that is happening on the second and third night. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I've heard from First Sailing that it is very cute. It's very classic Disney, you know, classic Disney songs. So I am very excited. We'll try to hopefully get a good spot and get, you know, some good footage of that.
Yes, definitely excited to try to film that and talk about that. And then day 2 of Castaway is going to be a little bit more relaxing for us. We don't have any specific tours or anything planned, so we will have to go through the regular virtual queue that day. One thing I would like to do is try to do the snorkeling and bring the camera and do all of that fun stuff. It was something I did not get to do on our last Disney Dream sailing, but we didn't have 2 days at Castaway. And now we do.
Also, a thing that I think will help make that a little easier too is the reduced capacity. So you won't have quite as many people in the water with you while you're snorkeling. And I think it'll make it a little easier to get around and see all of the cool things.
But I think that's going to be more of our relaxing, typical beach day. Maybe bring some books. We'll walk around, do some filming and all of that fun stuff as well. Try to get some cool pictures of the island as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do some more bike riding that day, because we did do the 2-day bike rental, and we like a bike ride. We'll probably also do a lunch on Castaway again that day, just because the Castaway lunch is delicious and I think better than the options that you can get on the ship, unless you get tired of food like really quickly, because I think it's going to be the same thing. Probably what we'll do.
Our plan is more of no plan.
Yeah.
The one thing we do have planned for that evening though is we do have Palo dinner booked. Now this might not be the most popular decision for people who are a big fan of the rotational dinings on a 3-night sailing. That gives you 1 night in every dining room. We don't particularly care if we're gonna miss 1 night. I'm excited to try Palo dinner. That's gonna be something new for us.
Yeah, I'm also okay with missing the last night dinner too, because we are at a single table by ourselves. Normally if we had other people with us, the last night is kind of the time you get to like say goodbye and all of that, and I would have probably wanted to be there, but I am right with you. We have done all these restaurants a couple times now, and I'm ready to try something new.
And sadly, this will take us to the end of our cruise, our disembarkation. The process is pretty similar to how it was before. If you are down for a sit-down breakfast, you will have a stagger time based on your dining time. Typically, if you are early seating, it's gonna be a pretty early time for you, so just get ready for that. And it looks like that may be your only real option for breakfast. They do say the Cove Cafe is also gonna be open. That tends to serve more lighter, like pastry style items. So if you're looking for a full breakfast, make sure not to miss that time.
Just like on your port days, you're actually going to use your Disney Cruise Line app to reserve a disembarkation time to leave the ship. So that will be available to sign up for that morning. Going to be a little different than how they used to do it with the character tags that they call, via group. So just something that will be different, but hopefully not too difficult to figure out. They also will have express walk-off as an option if you choose to keep all of your luggage with you and take it off of the ship yourself. If you choose not to do express walk-off and you do the regular exiting of the ship, just like before, your luggage will be grouped according to the different colors and characters, and you'll be able to go and pick that up in the big luggage warehouse that they have. They still have US Customs Border Patrol that you have to go through. They're not doing any kind of screening or testing when you get off. It's fairly normal process, it sounds like, once you leave the ship.
And that about covers our plans for the cruise, as well as some of the changes and precautions that they're taking. Again, we're gonna take a ton of video. We'll talk about all the changes and things we see on the ship, and just film all of the amazing magic and fun that's waiting for us on board. If you want to follow along with that, make sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell, all of that fun YouTube-y stuff, and we'll see you soon. Bye guys.